Did Queenzflip get fired from the Joe Budden podcast, or was he suspended? Everybody's noticing that Queenzflip has missed a few episodes, and even his Twitter bio doesn't show that he's a member of the Joe Budden podcast. So, was Queenzflip fired? Was he suspended? All we have to go off of his time on the show is that whenever he would miss an episode, Joe Budden would acknowledge it, whether it be in some funny way or some passive-aggressive demeanor. However, over the last few episodes, Joe Budden has not acknowledged him. Yes, there's people who say he acknowledged him briefly when he said Elliot was replacing him, but he did not say Flip's name, he did not acknowledge him, and then Flip missed the next episode. So now we have to really examine what's going on here, as this has never occurred on the pod before. Sure, Flip has missed a Patreon episode before. Sure, he has missed one of the free episodes before. But back-to-back free episodes and back-to-back Patreons, I've never seen that. And you would have to tell me in the comments when that happened. Now, what could have led to this? Is it possible that Flip might have crossed the line? Was he negotiating something and may have been too much for Joe Budden to handle? I mean, Joe Budden had said in the past that he understands Queenzflip as someone who was a creative himself and trying to wrestle with the company. And right now, Joe Budden is the company, Ian is the company, and Queenzflip is the creative. And I have to say, if you look at what happened with Improper Improv, there was some type of underlining tension, some type of tug of war when it came to creative. Even Flip himself was not the Queenzflip we knew at the beginning of the podcast. He became more muted, he was more measured, and you saw Joe Budden start to cover himself a bit by bringing on more members of the show. I mean, Imani's on the show. Imani's looking like a great replacement, and even though Joe Budden may have not hired him specifically to replace Flip, it is possible that he will be the person who ultimately does. Now, let's see what Flip does in addressing this. I do know that he was on Instagram Live recently, and when he was asked about the question, he did not provide any type of details or data, instead choosing to remain quiet on the subject. So now many people in the respective communities of the Joe Budden podcast are pondering, where is Flip? That's right, on Joe Budden TV, the Twitter community, they're wondering. On the Reddit, they're wondering. And on this YouTube channel, they are wondering. There are many people who say that they're happy Flip is gone. I'm not one of them. I thought Joe Budden would try to have more of a tact, more of an approach of, him not necessarily leaving under these weird circumstances. And I don't even know if he's leaving, but I do know that this is following the script of someone exiting the show in a fashion where there is angst, animosity, and anger. Usually, if you try to exit and you don't want there to be any type of, leftover drama, you say, oh, Flip's contract might be ending soon. And if he does, I want to shout out to my man, Queenzflip. Flip the Network is underway. I think he's going to do great things. I really feel like Flip helped take the platform to a new level with his arrival. But Joe Budden wouldn't say that because he's a bit arrogant. I don't think he could ever really admit that someone helped take the... When has he ever done that? When has Joe Budden ever said that someone helped the platform go to a new level? But that's a tangent. But I think that approach would have helped the show. And maybe Queenzflip is tired of Joe. I mean, so often we talk about the aspect of people that Joe might be tired of. But what if Flip is tired of having to come to the podcast and getting big broed? I can tell you from being on spaces with Joe, it can be taxing. It's mental warfare. Yes, Joe might be a great person behind closed doors, but when it comes to interacting with the entertainer, which I think is a bit of a blurred reality, I think the entertainer is actually who Joe is. It's annoying. I used to be on those spaces like, damn, this guy's annoying. He's entertaining, but he's annoying. He can't admit he's wrong. If you say something and you're completely accurate, he'll try to ridicule you or make fun of you, so then you got to ridicule him back. My approach was always to mention Rory and Mal. That's immediately what I did. Anytime he tried to get funny on me, Rory and Mal, you robbed them. But I wasn't on his podcast, right? So if you constantly arguing with Joe Budden on his podcast, and he's casting aspersions on your identity, making fun of the way you operate, clowning how you put things together, making fun of the way that you come into the studio, saying that you took out a loan, saying that you don't drink water, saying that stuff about Tyler Polly and his family, maybe that could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe Joe Budden playing with Queenzflip family life was what led to a blow up and Flip not being on the show. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Danny, you have no facts that Flip is not on the show. I'm just saying it looks funny. It looks really funny. It's looking like when Joe Budden did that episode with Savon and Ice. It's looking exactly like that. And then he came back next week and was talking about, oh, we're cool, we're friends, we're good. And now we got to look at the next episode, because if Queenzflip does come back, and it's awkward, then we're going to know what happened. And if he doesn't come back, then we're going to know what happened. But a lot remains to be seen. And I want to give myself a pat on the back, because nobody's going to do it for me. I did an episode of the channel where I said, where's Flip? And a lot of people were like, yo, Danny, you clickbaiting, you clout chasing. I wasn't clout chasing. I just thought it was odd that Flip wasn't on the show and Joe didn't acknowledge him. It was weird to me. And now here we are, where Flip has missed shows back to back. And I want to be clear, this channel has always been about speculation. But in the speculation, we find out things are fact. Y'all don't remember when I said Melissa Ford was going to become a permanent co-host on the show? Y'all don't remember when I said Queenzflip was going to become a permanent co-host on the show? A lot of people said I was reaching, I was dumb for that. I was right eventually. I was right about Imani joining the show when people said Imani would never join the show. So in speculation, you do get to a certain level of truth. And Joe Budden himself built a platform off of speculation. So I cannot allow people to come to me and say I'm clout chasing, I'm clickbaiting. I'm someone who listens to the show in and out, is aware of the mystery, the history. I'm a Joe Budden lore master. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. Just do the science. Alright, y'all, that's my video for today. Let me know, do you think Queenzflip is permanently gone? Do you think he will come back? Do you think this is COE? I don't think it's COE at all. But that remains to be seen. Follow me on Twitter, Stop TV. I might be doing a space about this soon to find out where Flip is at. Peace. This is Danny from the Stop.